Hello, friends, and welcome to The Corporation, the podcast that's too fun to fail. Each episode, we speak to the employees of Hogswood-Cooper Media, the global conglomerate that operates everything from news aggregators to payday loan companies. Each week, I strive to learn about and celebrate the folks who work for the many subsidiaries of this remarkable company. I'm your host, Dean Ardenfell, and I'm required to state that I am not employed by Hogswood-Cooper. But boy, am I a fan, and I think you're going to be too. So let's get into it, shall we? My first guest is the U.S. Marketing Director for Chemthrax, one of the world's leading providers of pesticides, pest-resistant crops and foods, and innovative food technologies. He's also an avid player of a sport he invented called extreme paintball, which I'm looking forward to hearing all about. Please welcome Vance Stubens, everybody.
Perfect to be here. I'm so excited.
Wow, I love your optimism off the bat.
I could not be more excited. I could not be more proud, happy to be representing the corporation that I am here to represent today for you.
Thank you. Thank you. No one is ever anyone who's heard the podcast before is definitely never this excited to be.
If you don't have enthusiasm for the work that you're doing, then what are you doing?
Oh, is that a rhetorical question? Because
It is a rhetorical question.
Good.
Don't answer.
Okay, good. Because I have enthusiasm, but sometimes my guests do not. So I'm excited that you're here and you're excited to be here. Okay.
How could I not be excited? I work for the Chemthrax Corporation.
You sure do. And I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. I mean, your company makes some of the most effective chemical compounds in history: dioxin, DDT, growth hormones, aspartame, Agent Orange, to name a few.
And keep going. I'm almost there.
Okay. Oh, you are very excited about this. Let's keep it above the table, as it were. So what's it like working for such a successful company that really makes such a difference in the world?
It truly is the greatest achievement, the greatest love that you can't. People say that having a family or having friends or having a sense of community is what is the best thing that you can have. And I could not disagree more. The only thing that you truly need is everything that we provide at the Chemthrax Corporation.
Wow, this is exciting for me because a lot of those things that you just listed that people often talk about are things I also don't have.
Oh,
and so maybe I'll put in my name in the hat for something over at Chemthrax.
Look, here's the thing. I used to be sad about the fact that I did not have a family, that I did not have friends.
Wow.
And then I took a big old role in some of our fields, and I've never felt anything else.
You took a role in some of your fields?
I took a role in some of our fields,
wow.
Yes.
So you just went out into a field where...
Well, I knew they were going to be spraying the fields that day, and so I went out, hid myself under some of the leaves, and lo and behold, I was dust stormed into happiness and contentment.
I see. And actually that makes a lot of sense because I looked at your LinkedIn profile and your job history here and there's a lot of it's very curious how you came to get the job. There's no real information about it. Was that stunt intended to get you hired by the company?
Yes, they found me in the field and immediately had me sign a couple of pieces of paper, which I couldn't read because my eyes were burning.
Yeah.
However, I got there, and that was the beginning of it. What more can you say?
So presumably they dragged you into some kind of containment facility and hosed you off or something.
They sprayed me for 45 minutes.
445 minutes. For 45 minutes.
Sometimes I speak weird because of because it's great. Because it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Because that's the way people should be speaking.
Right. Sure. So is there
everybody has a specific way to talk, and I think that it should be better, a little more like the way that I'm doing.
Okay. Do you get a lot of comments on your speech pattern and questions about whether it was a direct result of your exposure to these toxic chemicals?
I have been asked before to repeat myself.
And it seems like it's getting worse as the interview goes on.
Oh, I just do. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Just when we started, you seemed very cogent, and now it's starting to, is this too much for you? Is this,
No, it's been a couple minutes since I've had my chemical bath.
I see. Well, I don't want to keep you from it for too long here, but
I brought a miniature one. Would you mind if I dunk my head in this for a couple of seconds?
I don't mind at all. I was wondering what that vat of liquid was. Oh, okay. He's really doing it. Okay.
Okay, I'm all better.
Oh, your face is dripping wet. Did you need a towel?
Is it getting red?
Here, let me hand you a towel.
Is it getting purple?
It's changing colors for sure.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. Okay, maybe you could speak a little bit to how safe all of these chemicals are, because and some of the GMOs and frankenfoods and whatnot. There's a lot of genetic meddling. Some might say that you are all doing, but that's all just toward greater production and feeding the world, right?
You know, people these days like to complain about anything. And
sure.
you know, they get on their internet and they say, "Hey, you poisoned my son," and they bring us to court and say, "Oh, my village hasn't produced water that wasn't green in 7 years," and
Sure.
I have to be like, green water's cool as hell.
Right.
And if I wasn't healthy, if I can roll around in the field and still be the man that you see limping before you today, then what do you want from me?
Yeah, I get that totally. It's so interesting to me that they've put you front and center in the marketing campaign for "this will not hurt you."
No, yeah. Why? I don't know why they wouldn't. Is it the people talk about my arm a lot?
Yeah, what is happening with that?
Well, it's slowly falling off.
Yeah, it's like I can see the sort of sinew.
Here's the thing, you know, our bodies are temporary. Our souls are what truly matters. And I've never felt more of a soul than every morning when I breathe in the aerosol can spray that I spray directly into my mouth.
And if you don't mind me asking, why do you do all of this?
Why do I do all of this?
Why the chemical baths? Why the aerosol? Why lying down in the field when you could just breathe regular air?
If I do not, I go into what has been described by several people as a violent rage.
Okay.
And so, for the safety of others, I like to not do that. But it's not because of the chemicals. It's because it's nature or nurture arguments are all sorry.
You got stuck.
Are all the jazz
You
today.
got stuck there for a minute.
Yeah, it happens from time to time with
Sure.
every single person, normal person. It's not because of the chemicals.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you're really making some huge leaps to try to justify...
Excuse me?
You're making some huge leaps to try to justify...
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were being critical of Chemthrax.
Oh, I would never deign to do that. One, because I love everything the Hogswood-Cooper Media produces, but also because I've heard what happens when people do that, and sometimes it's not so positive. The things that happen to them when people criticize Chemthrax has been documented as pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a
I was just
problem?
wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Oh, my thoughts are good, you know? Hey, go for it. Try me.
I got to be honest, this is an interest.
Try me.
This is one of my more interesting and challenging interviews because each time I propose a question to you, rather than directly answering it, it feels like just a series of sounds and words.
I have been told that I'm not good at conversation. But that's kind of the point of my job, no?
Yeah, no, conversation and communication are really important for someone in a marketing position, right?
Yeah, but the bottom line for that is it's not my fault, it's your fault.
Oh, is it?
There we go. Are we talking about something other than what you tried to talk about before? Boom. That's how you do the job.
Oh, so you just spun me, is what you're saying?
You just got spunned.
I got I'm spinning out. I'm spinning out here.
Hang on.
Oh, another bath. Another chemical bath. Oh, this is not what I thought it would be, this interview. Oh, dear. Okay, take a deep breath and take the towel, for God's sake.
Well, yeah.
I gotta say, there has been a marketing campaign intended to elevate the reputation of the company, Hearts and Minds kind of campaign, and a lot of it just looks like you're bullying your audience. I'm going to read a few of the taglines here for this, a few of the slogans.
Sure.
We're everywhere, deal with it. What are you going to do? Check every tomato was a billboard, I remember.
Yep.
And go ahead and eat bugs for all we care is another one. So it seems like you're being fairly flippant about the criticisms around the dangerous nature.
Well, because we tried the approach of genuinely explaining, and then everyone told us that we were clearly lying. And so I have to change my tactics, and at a certain point, screw these people.
Sure, yeah.
Seeing as Chemthrax is my family and my friends,
right.
It's like that is being under attack. And when you attack my family and my friends, I'm going to put up a big old billboard that says, "Eat it.
I saw that one. It's big letters, that
Big
one.
letters. Just said, eat it.
Yeah. And
you stupid animals.
Oh, did it
That
say
was
that
with smaller
in the smaller letters? Interesting, because it has that double entendre of like, eat the food, damn it, and also like, eat my
stupid
genitalian.
animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you ever think about the fact that Chemthrax has become your family and replaced it in every way, shape, and form? And
Well, I did just say that, so yeah.
Well, I that's the first part of my question. The second part of my question is, do you ever think about like what would happen if let's say they fired you tomorrow or something? It's a thought experiment. What would you do then if you had your family and your friends and everything that's important to you just gone
Well, I do what anyone would do when they lose their friends and family. I'd immediately try and ruin them.
You try to ruin them?
Yes.
Okay, so they don't want you on their bad side, in other words?
Absolutely.
I see.
Frankly, I am trapped at this job.
It feels like more like they're obligated to keep you on staff.
Yes, but well, I mean, if you actually go through the history of what happened to me, I literally rolled in their fields and my entire personality changed. So they want to keep me on.
Sure,
they gotta keep me on.
See, this is an interesting.
You're bringing up me being fired as if it is a remote possibility.
No, but I am interested in what would happen if it did happen, and you just basically confessed that, rolling around in that field did this to you, right?
Look, but here's my question for you. You ever seen a bass fish before?
Sure, like
big old bass
Billy
fish?
the bass fish.
Like Billy the bass fish.
Sure.
But like not on a wall, but like in the river.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. And it's going up the stream.
Yeah.
And it's like a beautiful, beautiful, nature place, and then you see a bear will come along and maybe eat it.
I hope.
And then
I hope to God this is going somewhere.
And then the trees they look so nice.
This could just be.
Have you ever been in the woods before? Do you like the woods?
This could just go nowhere.
It's the strangest thing I've ever felt, being in the woods, looking in the sky.
Is it possible that this metaphor is not going to answer my question?
Look, bottom line, are we talking about something else? Just got spun.
Damn it. Oh, I've got spun again. Damn it.
Spun again.
All right, well, I think that's as good a place as any to bring in our second guest here. So let's pause to hear a quick word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. The Corporation is sponsored by Vermont Comedy Club, offering world-class stand-up, improv, and sketch comedy 5 nights a week. The Comedy Club has a full bar, food menu, and table service, so make a night of it. Vermont Comedy Club is located just downhill from the Flynn Theater on Main Street in Burlington. They also offer classes for adults and camps for kids. For more information, visit vtcomedy.com. Now back to the show. And we're back. We've been talking with Vance Stubens, Marketing Director for Chemthrax, and now I'm going to bring my second guest into the conversation, who works for a totally different subsidiary of Hogswood-Cooper. Our next guest is the chief costumed mascot for the Hogswood-owned Philadelphia Hogs, the semi-professional football team that plays at least 10 games a year in their home stadium in Allegheny West. She's an energetic person who holds the record for most Dance Dance Revolution wins in her personal friend group. Please welcome Aurora Fudston, everybody. Hello, Aurora.
Hi.
And when I say energetic person, I've seen you on the field, but I've been surprised at how relaxed you've been sitting there.
Thank you. It is due to my combination of medication, so I'm in a good state of not off the walls.
Okay, cool. We have a lot of chemically altered people in the room today. First question's kind of obvious, Aurora. One might think that the mascot for the Hogs would be a hog, but you don't play a hog, do you? What do you play?
No, I play a tadpole. I think whoever made the decision to make me a tadpole, I think had a really great more global perspective on the influence of mascots, on the vibe that it brings to the game, you know? And
sure.
the game is about growth from not good at sports.
Sure.
To moderately better at sports.
So interesting, because it may be apt that you play a tadpole and that you never evolve into a frog, because the team itself also doesn't seem to get much better from year to year. So it seems like your metaphor there is great, like the idea that we all grow and adapt and change. But it seems like neither your mascot nor the team does so.
That is true. It is. I guess it was wishful thinking, considering
aspirational.
The mascot has been a tadpole for 50 or 75 years now, and I think they had expected to evolve to more quality sport playing by now, but unfortunately,
Quality sport playing, huh?
yes, and I should specify this is before helmets.
Gotcha. And I know that only about half the team actually wears helmets.
That is true.
Is that a budgetary issue?
It is extremely budgetary, and also religious.
Religious?
Yes.
like there are certain members of the football team that
are in a cult, yes.
And they don't wear helmets for religious reasons.
They don't wear helmets.
And what happens to those players?
Oh, they hurt themselves a whole lot.
Okay, yeah.
Big hurts all the time. Like
big hurts.
Large injuries to the head.
Sure.
Constantly.
That's unsurprising.
More or less constantly.
Constantly.
Yes.
Interesting. And I know, the field that they play on is like an old baseball field that was abandoned. It seems like...
That is true. Yeah. We thought also that we would move from baseball field and have the funding eventually.
Yeah. Vance, are you feeling okay over there? You look a little like you're changing colors again.
Huh?
You look like you're changing colors again.
Oh, which one? What color? What?
Sort of deep purple.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great.
Okay, just checking. I'm just making sure you're still with us because, when you're not talking, you kind of shut down physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You're okay?
Yeah.
Great. Now, Aurora, how do you stay positive when the team has a terrible record and, the football field is a baseball diamond and half the players don't have helmets? How do you get the crowd up? Obviously there isn't a huge crowd. The numbers have really dwindled in recent years. How do you get that crowd to feel like a bigger crowd? How do you keep your energy up when you're out there?
That's a really existential question, and I really like it.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's more of a professional inquiry, but...
Well, here's where it brought me. It brought me to a place where I'm thinking, what is my role?
Uh-huh.
What is my role in this small community with little to no value in the people who do sports?
Uh-huh.
What am I doing here?
Are you passing that judgment on the people who play the sports, that there's little to no value in
I
what they do?
survey them every once in a while to check and see if they have...
Oh, you're talking about the people in the stands?
I'm talking about the entire town.
The whole town, everybody in the town.
I survey every person in the town every 4 to 5 weeks.
And you have a PhD, you said? So
yes, I do have a PhD.
So is this some kind of independent research that you're doing?
It's, I guess you could call it that. It is for the purpose of... seeing where we're at as a community and what I can learn from them to make the game more inviting.
I see.
And so far, it's pointing towards illicit drug use. I have to add more drugs to the game. But I won't, of course. That's ethically a problem. But
yeah, and it's interesting that you're kind of saying this, you don't own the team or manage the team, am I correct? And
that is right.
So your whole job begins and ends with that tadpole costume, and yet you're looking for some way to change the game to make it more inviting.
Well, it started with the tadpole costume, but due to our lack of funds, I've had to take on several more roles.
Ah, I see. Like what?
Emergency paramedic.
Oh, wow. That seems like a very busy job on a team with only half helmets.
It is extremely taxing physically and mentally.
So what do you do when someone injures themselves in the field and you're dressed in a tadpole costume?
So first, because I'm a very energetic and emotionally reactive human being, I have to put myself in a corner and cry for just a moment. I have to give myself a little time to...
But what do you have to... I understand what you have to do psychologically, but what do you have to do logistically?
Logistically, okay. So what I do is I go over to the player. They're almost always unconscious. So I tap their shoulder. I say, "Are you okay?" They do not answer. They are unconscious.
Yeah.
So at that point, I check their pulse. They normally do not have one. So I have to immediately begin doing CPR.
Now, I've seen this costume, and it doesn't give you a huge range of motion in your hands or fingers. Like, how do you take someone's pulse with this costume on?
So I had to adapt the costume.
Oh, really?
Yes. Normally my arms and legs had to go into the tail of the tadpole.
Okay. Both your arms and your legs.
Well, yes, it's more or less a sleeping bag.
Okay. Sure.
So that was an obstacle I needed to overcome.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I cut holes, but put zippers on them so I can pop my arms and legs out if I need to, and I always need to.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna bounce back to Vance here and involve him here because I want to. You both have hobbies that we haven't talked about, and I want to talk about your extracurricular activities. Vance, are you with me?
Yum.
Just say one English word, just one, so I know you're with me.
Yum.
I'll take it. So you have a sport that you invented called extreme paintball.
Oh yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but as I understand it, one team is armed with paint guns and tactical gear.
Yes.
And the other team is a group of undocumented workers. And then you pit them against each other.
Yes.
What was the impetus for this revised version of paintball?
Well, when I was a high school boy, high school-aged boy, middle school-aged boy, I always would go out and do the aerosofts and do the paintballing. And as I got to the future and lost all of those friends and that family, and my new family became the Chemthrax Corporation.
Got to the future, yeah.
As I got to the future, yes.
Yeah. You've arrived at it?
Yes, we're all here.
Yeah, we're all...
Do I need to explain time to you?
Nope.
Good
We're all
Lord.
here in the future.
We are all in the future.
Yes.
Here we are. Well, bottom line, I wanted to get back into it, so I decided to with the Chemthrax Corporation, I was able to use some of the funds to start my own little sport league.
Oh, so this is a Chemthrax funded and sanctioned sport.
Yes.
You've signed
Also,
some
earlier you mentioned that there's one team that has paintball and airsoft guns, but you are misinformed. They are fully operational assault rifles.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's the extreme element of it.
So why call it extreme paintball?
Well, because the undocumented immigrants, they get paintballs.
Oh, they get paintball guns?
They get paintball guns.
Or just the paintballs?
They get paintballs to throw at the people with assault rifles trying to come and get them.
So you and some other, not your friends, because you don't have friends, but you and some other employees from Chemthrax have assault rifles, and the undocumented workers have paintballs that they are able to throw at you. Does that not seem like an unfair fight to you?
Do you want to know the stats of who's won the most? The undocumented immigrants.
They've won more than you
They've
have?
won way more games than the people that with the assault rifles.
I'm just going to ask a question I probably shouldn't, and I already probably know the answer to, but are all the people with the assault rifles like you?
100%.
Okay, got it.
They have a
So-
hard time aiming or seeing in any capacity.
I see. So this kind of evens the playing field, right? Because
No one has ever died.
no one's died, even despite the fact that
Well, no one has ever died.
ever
No one has ever died.
in life, in
Ever.
life, I think you're really living in the present now.
You got spunt again.
I got spun again. We're talking about something else. Well, I before I spin out here in a way that I can't control, let's bounce back to Aurora. Aurora, you like to play Dance Revolution.
I do.
With your friends, and I know that I guess I wonder, don't you ever get tired of dancing around because you do that for your job?
Well, see, I spend a lot less time in my job dancing than you would think. I actually spend a lot more time saving lives.
Right.
So I do like to do Dance Revolution just to let off a lot of steam. There's not a lot to do in our town, and so there's this one bar that has a Dance Revolution machine.
I think I heard that bar suspended you for a week because you danced so hard on it that you broke the machine itself.
It was more or less in a dissociative fugue brought on by the stress of my position.
You were in a dissociative fugue, or the machine was?
I was in a dissociative fugue brought on by the stress of my position.
Wow. I don't even know what that is.
It's when you're so stressed that you lose all sense of your surroundings and self.
Wow. I just did not, I got to be honest, Aurora, when I started talking to you, I did not think that the mascot of a team called the Hogs, who plays a tadpole, would be such a philosopher.
You can never make assumptions about another human being. That's what I've learned through my position.
Sure.
I assumed that the players that I work with would be good at what they do. I was wrong.
Sure.
So that's brought me to a different spot in how I perceive the world.
It's such an existential crisis that your job has created in you.
I'm in a lot of fear all of the time.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is there any, could you foresee that it might improve the interest in the games on the field if we introduced the idea of extreme paintball? With Vance here, to your stadium and to your fans.
Oh.
Was that a noise of interest, or were you just?
Yes.
You're just. I thought maybe you might be just expressing some gas of some kind.
Things escape sometimes, but it sounds way worse.
But that was a noise of interest.
That was for sure.
Great. What do you think of that, Aurora?
It didn't seem like something I would want to bring to my town, given how much bodily harm they already inflict upon each other.
I don't mean to push back on you, Aurora, but it actually is a fact that more people are injured every year on your football team than are injured playing extreme paintball, which we've already established. Not
zero.
one person has ever been injured, despite the fact that it sounds incredibly dangerous.
I want to believe that is true. It seems like an exceptionally subjective situation.
Right, because we do know that Vance is a marketing person and potentially could be spinning both of us in this situation. And there would be really no way to hold him accountable here because each time I get deeper into a conversation with him, I got to be honest, Vance, you make a little less sense.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy.
I can see that physically you are not well.
Ham on the crime lot.
And you're making increasingly less sense as the interview goes on.
That's true. I have a PhD in clinical psychology from Johns Hopkins University, and
wow, incredible.
Everything you've said to me indicates a different psychopathology.
That was the gas escaping.
It seems like Vance is undergoing his own existential crisis.
It seems like he's unraveling neurologically
and physically. I think your arm just fell off. So
finally, about darn time.
Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today on The Corporation. So I want to thank my guests for speaking with me and for just existing in this space and holding this space with me. Vance, I'll see you sometime in the future, which will be called the present at that point.
Yes.
And Aurora, I wish you luck. I hope that at least you get some help over there.
Thank you. I would really appreciate that if anyone is listening.
Great. And I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review, and email me at deanardenfell@hotmail.com. And remember, Dean Ardenfell is not and has never been an employee of Hogswood-Cooper Media or any of its subsidiaries. Cheers.
Glamp for towers.
Oh boy.
The Corporation is a presentation of Unicow Media. Dean Ardenfell was played by Nathan Hartswick, Vance Stubens was played by Tim Bridge, and Aurora Fudston was played by Lucy Haney. Subscribe to hear new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. For more great stuff, follow The Corporation Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and check out thecorporationpod.com.